Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For today, or tonight, and for my final speech here in ToastMaters, I'm going to be talking about weight. And not just bodily or physical weight, but the weight of words. Once upon a time, there was a girl. She looked as if she always carried the weight of the world upon her shoulders. As from what I remember, people often said that she looked cold and unapproachable. In all honesty, she was ugly. And don't get me wrong, she's the only person I would ever call ugly. Not only because she looked ugly on the outside, but also because inside, she was always filled with ugly thoughts. Everyone knew she was fat. As a matter of fact, she was obese, with a body mass index of 30 above. Everyone knew about this, but no one knew how this made her feel. Her family friends would talk about her right in front of her, may I say, and talk about how fat she is, how obese she is, and how she would probably never lose weight. There was this certain relative who said that, "Yan, wala na yung pag-asang pumayat mo." And it hurt her. In fact, it crushed her. She was like, "Wow, really? Do I really look that bad?" And another certain relative once yelled at her, saying, "Maganda ka ng bata, pero hindi ka na maganda. Ba't hindi mo patanggapin na sa bawat time nakakain ka, tataba ka lalo?" It was really sad, and it made her very sad. Oh, and of course, it wasn't only her relatives that did this to her. There was one time when she was about 14 or 13, she was walking outside with her father. They were about to buy groceries or something, and some woman that she didn't know came up to him, the father, and said, "Oh, ito, para sa inyo ng asawa mo." Can you imagine how awkward that was? For the father and for her. Oh, and another instance was when her father and she went jogging. The father met with some family friend that he hasn't spoken to in a while. And the family friend greeted the father by saying, "Oh, yan na ba yung asawa mo?" The father said, "Hindi, anak ko yan," quite awkwardly. And of course, being tactless and insensitive, like most of the senior citizens in her area were, the family friend said, "Ay, ganyan ka na pala katanda." Can you imagine how awkward that was? But more than awkward, it hurt her. Because basically, they said that she looked like a middle-aged woman, when in fact she was only 13 to 14 at that time. It's funny, isn't it, how little jumble of letters and brief utterance could cause such an impact on one's life. If I were to be asked, I would compare words to the weather. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, how tough or weak you are, it will always affect you in some way or another, whether negatively or positively. As for me, no matter how fat you are, you could weigh like hundreds of pounds and words would still be heavier than you. Words would still penetrate your weight. And I'm telling you this now. Never call someone fat or ugly or dumb or anything that you think would hurt their feelings. Because chances are, even before you tell them, they already know. And you probably wouldn't know how much this would hurt them. I mean, imagine if I called you fat, how would you feel? That's how the girl felt every time she was called fat. Because she already knew that she was fat. She didn't have to be told that over and over again. As for her, if you ask, she's doing relatively well. She realized that the people in her life only said those things for her own good. Well, maybe they didn't, but that's how she wanted to stay. And she didn't want to feel sad anymore. She also met some really gorgeous and skinny girls when she was in junior high, and that's when her life took a turn, either for the worse or for the better, because she wanted to be like them. And there was a time when she didn't talk to them at all. She isolated herself because she always felt ugly around them. And that's when she decided to lose weight. This was that girl about 2 to 3 years ago. She was about 77, 80 kilograms. And she's lost about, I don't know, it's not really important, but yeah, she's lost some weight. And she's trying her best to be a better person in every way that she could. And as for me, in my opinion, she's become a better person. She's become a better individual. Well, more than losing weight, she's become more competent, more confident, thanks to all of you. And seeing as how she could stand here in front of you and deliver this speech with as much confidence as she could muster, you all have molded her into a better person. That's all. Thank you.